So it works for him. Yeah, so I can't do that. I know, right? Gotta go. Yeah, it's okay.
Yes, they know.
Mr. Mendoza? Great, how are you? Good to see you. Really well overall. It's impressive. Even as so we planned out really fine. I gotta go back. There's still some stragglers still.
Sorry.
Rip that Band-Aid off. I was joking with the Ioipt. Never worked well. So well.
Got your seat?
But that's I saw that. Oh shit. I think you're
I didn't mean to leave you like that. I was just something to see.
No, we can't do anything. There should be an issue. I think there should be an issue.
Somebody over there.
What's that?
Yeah, that's right. Like,
It's got a wall, but
I am.
Hey, Will, how are you?
You're all up there. Good.
we'll have to find a spot.
I'm trying to work that thing.
Yeah. Hey, we doing well?
I gotta go sit the filler.
Yeah, no,
Oh, an accident. Pardon me, pardon me. Nice to see you, sir.
I know. Yeah,
Oh, I can at least get rid of it.
Who's good? I'm sure they like Good morning, everyone. Please stand as we welcome Industry Operations Investigator Basic Training Class 2103. My name is Joseph Price, and I have the honor of serving as the acting chief of the ATF National Academy. On behalf of the Academy, Industry Operations Investigator Basic Training Class 2103, I welcome family, friends, and guests, including those who are sharing this special occasion via live stream. We regret that because of the COVID-19 pandemic, some of you cannot be here in person. We begin today's program with our national anthem that will be sung by Ioipt to close. And after the anthem, please remain standing for an invocation given by Albert Burheim, Liaison Curriculum Development Accreditation Branch Chief of the ATF National Academy.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight? O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streamed, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in and sing us that star-spangled banner yet waving o'er the land and all the free and the home of the brave.
I'd like to ask for a moment of silence as we remember Americans who were killed 80 years ago in Pearl Harbor. I'm honored to offer the invocation today and would like to note that these are the words of retired ATF Special Agent Bobby McCormick. We thank you, God, that we live in a nation governed by the rule of law. You have called us to be peacemakers in a world that is often torn by strife and violence. For that reason, we pray now for all persons dedicated to the safety and well-being of our nation today. Thank you, Lord, that you have granted us the traveling mercies that enable family and friends to gather now for this time of dedication and celebration. We ask that your divine presence be with us during this graduation ceremony as we prepare to rededicate these industry operations investigators on behalf of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. We acknowledge your gratitude unto you for strengthening our training mission and for bringing persons of integrity and dedication to the Bureau once. We pray now that you would bless this ceremony and each participant as we give thanks unto your name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Al. Please be seated. I'd like now to introduce Marvin Richardson, ATF Acting Director. Thank you, sir, for being here. Your presence gives special significance to the ceremony. Shows just how seriously ATF considers training the responsibility and authorities of agencies entrusted to IOIBT 2103. Also, we have present Megan Bennett, Deputy Assistant Director for Industry Operations, Office of Field Operations. Kirk Howard, Acting Deputy Assistant Director of HRP. Other senior leaders here in ATF, from Director of Industry Operations, DIO Senna Webb, Atlanta Field Division, DIO Nicholas O'Leary, Boston Field Division, DIO Kyle Allensack, Chicago Field Division, DIO Judy Ledoux, Columbus Field Division, DIO Paul Brown, Denver Field Division, DIO William Miller, Kansas City Field Division, DIO Tina Close, New Orleans Field Division, DIO John Curtis, New York and Newark Field Division, DIO Juan Morena, Philadelphia Field Division, DIO Christina Babcock, Phoenix Field Division, DIO Roger Root, San Francisco Field Division, DIO Wayne Bedcourt, Seattle Field Division, DIO Hans Hummel, St. Paul Field Division. And I'd also like to recognize the current retired leadership events here. Graciously hosted us here at this academy, provided this facility to us. Acting Special Agent in Charge, Bryce McCracken, and recently retired Special Agent in Charge, J.D. Underwood. J.D. was instrumental in providing leadership, moving the industry operation training from Valencia to Cedar due to the limited capacity because of the pandemic. And congratulations on the retirement, sir. We also have with us Jason Cox, Chief of the Basic Training Program, ATF Academy. I'd also like to acknowledge and thank the class supervisors for IOIBT 2103, Nicole Handera, Washington Field Division, and Ron Young, Kansas City Field Division. Also in the audience, we have a number of ATF guests from around the country who are here to support the graduates. It means a lot. I would love to take a moment and ask that all ATF employees please stand and be recognized. Later in the program, you'll see Senior Special Agent Heather Commute present credentials to her brother, trainee Christopher Commute. began her ATF service in 1999. She has spent her career in the Dallas Field Division, where she is the violent crime coordinator for the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. She is the lead ATF agent at the Dallas Police Department, where she focuses her investigations on reducing the rate of violent crime. She's served as a member of the Special Response Team, Crisis Negotiator Team for 13 years, and is currently a member of the Heroes Force. You'll also see ATF Intelligence Research Specialist Ricky Houston present credentials to his wife, trainee Jillian Giandrea Houston. Mr. Houston is a former Air Force intelligence analyst and instructor. He has worked as a defense contractor, has over 18 years of experience with ATF in the Boston Field and Dallas Field Division of Violent Crime Prevention. Also, we have Thomas W. Jackson, firearm training specialist, present credentials to his wife, trainee Levy Villavicencio. Mr. Jackson served in the United States Marine Corps from 1998 to 2004. Mr. Jackson then served with Loudons County, Georgia Sheriff's Department. Mr. Jackson joined the ATF Academy in approximately 2016, where he serves as an armor custodian of the vast inventory of training firearms, and more importantly, as a firearm instructor for ATF Special Agent trainees. Class. For the past 10 weeks, we've told you what we expected. You arrived at Huntsville as individuals and strangers to each other, and today you leave as colleagues and friends. The ATF leadership team does their best to support the ATF graduation ceremonies. They do so to honor your achievement, demonstrate their support, and welcome you as colleagues into our bureau. Graduates, supervisors, and training managers have given a great deal to your industry operation and investigator basic training. Without their assistance, this class would not be the success that it is. We appreciate their dedication, their hard work, and their commitment to IOIBT 2103. I want to recognize the contributions made by the instructors and members of the Academy staff. Their expertise is essential in helping to make sure the trainees are prepared to reach this important day, ready for success in the reports of the field. I'm also grateful for the support and assistance of NCR once again. Thank you. We welcome the family and friends who are celebrating this special occasion today. Today, you also join the ATF family. The graduates always need your love and support that you give them now and into the future. It will help keep them graduates grounded and balanced in their careers. All ATF employees, I ask you to please rise and give a round of applause to the family members who support these trainings. Resources of the ATF National Academy. I'd like to extend a very special to the graduating class. I'm very proud of you. Your futures are bright and full of opportunity. I now have the honor of formally introducing Director Marvin Richardson, who leads our bureau. Until the summer of 2021, Mr. Richardson was the Associate Deputy Director and the Chief Operating Officer of ATF. Previously, he was the Assistant Director of Enforcement Programs and Services. He also served as the Deputy Assistant Director for that Director. Mr. Richardson began his career in the ATF in 1989 as a special agent in the Dallas Field Division. From there, he rose up the ranks of ATF to hold numerous management positions of increasing responsibility. These include Assistant Special Agent in Charge, Phoenix Field Division, Chief of the National Center for Explosive Training and Research, Chair of the Professional Review Board, and Special Agent in Charge of the Denver Field Division. Mr. Richardson received the Treasury Department's Hostile Acts Medal for service during 1993 British Civilian conflict in Waco, Texas. In 2010, he was named ATF Supervisor Employee of the Year for his outstanding leadership contributions. So please welcome Acting Director Richardson. Sir.
All right, well, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
These guys know already. I'm that hangry. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
We're here for a very special occasion, and to me, I got to say, when I was speaking to the class this morning, there were some of them in their smiles. I still see them. They're trying to have that, that government look. I think they're trying to stay, kind of straight face. But you know what? It's okay to smile. This is an accomplishment that you should really be proud of. And I will tell you, you've heard the use of that word family. This is a family affair, okay? because while you're graduating, this is also the beginning of a journey for yourself and your families. And we'll talk a little bit more about that as I kind of get into the words that I want to share with you. But I appreciate the fact that, we hold in attendance. Obviously, over the last couple of years, it's been difficult. There have been times when I've stood at graduations, Kurt, we can sit there and kind of laugh at this right now, where there's been nothing but the class there in the room. We've been able to stream it and do different things, but it's just, this is such a happy occasion that you want to be able to share it firsthand with the people, who you love the most, right? And that's the family and friends that are going to support you throughout your whole career here. So I want to make sure and just kind of take this opportunity to recognize this is a chance for us to get together. It's the first time we've been able to get together this many people at the same time. So I'm really excited about that. And I look forward to maybe shaking some of your hands after we finish here and just kind of meeting you and getting to know you a little bit. So as introduced, well, before I say that, I want to, Joe, appreciate you, Bryce, the staff here, to make this happen. A lot of work goes into it, right? A lot of people do a lot of work to make this happen. Not just the 10 weeks of instruction, right? But all the preparation that goes into it. We talked about, I spoke to some of your DIL, some of your new leadership when you get to the field divisions, and they know, even some of the processes that we go through to make sure that we have the best candidates who make it through and get to the academy. And so they're involved in that. So I just want to thank the whole team for everything that you all do to make sure that we get the best and the brightest to bring into our new family. So thank you very much, staff and everybody else for what you do. So as indicated, my name is Marvin Richardson, and I'm the acting director. And on behalf of the entire executive staff, I want to say congratulations to you and thank you to the families who have supported you in getting you to this point. As you prepare to graduate from this basic course, just know this: there's nothing basic about it. All right, everything that you have learned is the foundation of knowledge that you are going to build upon for the rest of your career. And so while you have gotten a basic training program to get you prepared to start, know that the start and this foundation is what's going to launch you and carry you throughout your entire career. And this has been one of those interesting times, right? So for a year that has been filled with so much uncertainty, there has to be a special sense of pride in knowing that you made it through some of the most trying times in our nation's history, to a point where you will join the ranks of some of the most dedicated public servants in the country. From the COVID vaccine rollout to the new variants and vaccine mandates, you've all endured, persevered, and prevailed through it all. Those are those things that 30 years from now, 32 years from now, when I see some of my old classmates and I talk about the things that we did, trust me, you guys are going to have stories that can't even compare. I mean, I'd sit there and go like, what? What's a variant, right? I mean, how many times in a lifetime do you go through what we've experienced as a nation, and now you guys, as a graduating class, trust me, there aren't going to be many people who can compare those stories. It's with great pride that I find myself standing before you, delivering this graduation address, as it does seem like it was just yesterday that I sat in the same seat that you sat in 32 years ago. I was president of my class, and I got the opportunity to address them and to talk about the journey that we had taken together. And that's something that you all are going to share. And years from now, as you continue your friendships and your walks on this journey, you're going to look back and reflect on some of the times. I saw some of the things on the film here that you guys had rolling there. I saw a little ballroom dancing. I saw somebody doing a robot. I was like, hey, ballroom, yeah, I'm sitting here looking at you. I don't hold that against anyone. Dancing skills are not part of the job requirement. But no, it's all part of that. You guys had, while you had a lot to do, right? There was a lot of challenging times. It also gave you that opportunity to interact with one another, to create some of those memories that you're going to remember 32 years from now, and you're going to laugh, trust me, when you sit back and talk together. I know it's not been easy being away from your families as well during this time. wondering, worried about how mom and dad, wife and children, sisters and brothers are all doing, and wanting them to know that you are doing fine too. If for no other reason than for their sanity's sake. So for your dedication, your commitment, and your professionalism, I thank you. Just as I thank you, and just as we did just a moment ago, I want you to take this opportunity to turn around, stand up, and give a hand clap of appreciation to your families for supporting you while you're here. So let's do that right now. Whether you're in the audience or you couldn't be here and you're watching the streaming, it's obvious that none of us gets through this alone. So one of the things I want to make sure that I impress upon you is I want to make sure that you never forget that the reason that you are able to do what you're going to be doing each day is because of the people that you're going to have supporting you, right? Do not take them for granted. It's easy to get caught up in this job, right? Because it demands a lot. But you make sure and take that time and make sure the ones who love and support you the most know how much you care and appreciate what they do for you, okay? And I can sit here and say that to you firsthand. 7 moves, 6 children, a life that took 3 bar exams, and gave up a judgeship for me to do what I did today. So don't ever take them for granted. Find yourself slipping, pull yourself back in line. Don't get pulled back in line. Some of those repercussions are not working, okay? So take your time to reflect. When you get home every day, you know what, shake off whatever that was that you had on you from the day's work. Focus on your family when you get home. That's very important for you to continue and really be successful at doing this job. You're about to embark on a journey, not just as investigators, but as career public servants. That title in and of itself carries a certain weight with it that only people who are dedicated to service can really bear. When you wear that title, it means that you place intrinsic value on things that no monetary amount can replace. The things that you learn how to value mean the world to you because they make a difference. I'm talking about those bitter cold days when we have to travel for hours just to get to a gun dealer's premises, only to find out that their inventory is kept in a Connex box outside that has no heating or air conditioning. Whether it's summer or winter, it's either burning up or freezing cold. And you got to do a floor-to-ceiling inventory on all 500 guns by yourself. But guess what? You do it. Or when you have to go to Ioipt in South Dakota, right? And you got to inspect an explosives bunker. And the closest services, that is about 100 miles away. But guess what? You go there and you do that too. But perhaps it's that mom and pop dealer who's been in business for 30 years, but recently had 6 firearms from multiple sales show up with 9 hits related to multiple gang shootings with a 30-day time to crime. And you find yourself there doing an inspection. And oh, did I mention that the records were all handwritten in a 3-ring binder? And the cover was falling off. And the pages are coming out. And there's a little mold on the pages from last spring's rains when the roof leaked on the books. But you know what? You do that too. There is no monetary value that you can put on doing the things that you're committed to. Because these things you don't do for money. You do them for meaning. You do them for purpose. And that is what brought each one of you, I dare say, to this position, is that you wanted more than just a paycheck. You wanted something of intrinsic value that you could stop every night before you go to bed and look in that mirror and say, I made a difference. I dare say, I bet that's why each one of you said yes to ATL. It's because you know you were becoming a part of an organization that had a mission that makes a difference. I can tell you that for each one of these folks over here, because I've worked with them for years. And to this day, I can tell you right now, some of them might be secretly independently wealthy. I'm uncertain about that, all right? I know I'm not. So you're not gonna get rich doing this job. But you're not gonna be poor. I will tell you that the value that you take away from doing this job every day will make your life more fulfilling and more rich than any monetary value can ever do. Just knowing that you made that difference with regards to protecting the public, with regards to public safety, with regards to making sure we talked in the classroom about a little bit of education, right? That we passed on to ensure that people who deal in commodities, that when they're diverted into the wrong hands, can be detrimental to life and property, right? But you're gonna make a difference every single day. And it's not gonna be something that anybody can pay you enough money to do. Because when you're standing in that Connex box and your knees are shaking and your teeth are chattering and you're going through those serial numbers and you're making sure that everything is right, what you wouldn't get for a heater. It costs a little money, right? But you don't have it. You're still gonna pay it down. So I take the time to really impress that upon you, because being a public servant is a whole lot more than just, stand up here and taking that oath. It's something inside you. And I see it in each one of you. In fact, I had a conversation, I was talking to Representative upstairs. This class has something in their eyes, all right? I'm not sure what it was. I don't know whether it was the amount of experience, and I know a couple of you guys that I kind of cited when I was downstairs, and I saw that experience, and I had to go over and say, I'm a people watcher, and I think I know something about you, and I've learned a few things, right? And you guys, I really do believe, have that special thing that's going to really help us to turn a corner as we head down a whole nother road here in ATF. I talked to you guys earlier about where we're going, right? You're the tip of this iceberg here. What's coming, what's behind you, what's up under that water is going to be great, right? Because we have some great opportunities, and you guys are going to be right there on the front end to make sure that you're leading the way. So again, looking forward to it. With that said, sometimes you're going to do some things. You're out there in the public that you're going to find out that as a public servant, you won't get a lot of thank yous for. People, especially, I told you guys earlier, I'm from Texas. I know some folks who love their guns more than they love their children. It's a true statement. But at the same time, you know what? Some of those people, they're not happy to see you when you show up. But you're still going to do your job. And I'm going to tell you right now, we start talking about being in the proverbial crosshairs, of looking at, the media and hearing what they have to say about us, and maybe hearing some people, maybe sometimes even local politicians, they say some things about us, right? We find ourselves going, wait a minute, that's not us. That's when you have to really appreciate what you do and not be worried about what anyone else has to say about it, right? So there's a skill that you guys have not been taught yet, that I'm going to have to take some time right now to make sure that you guys have it and are equipped to lead. So come back here. I'll use my outside voice. I told you I have 6 children, so I can project. So I'm going to come from back there and teach this new skill. Okay? Each one of you graduates, I need you to follow me, okay? So I want you to take your right hand and extend it out in front of you. I want you to take your left hand and put it under your right elbow. I want you to bend your right hand over your left shoulder and do this. Sometimes that's the only pat on the back that you're going to get to do when you're done. And you've got to be willing to do that for yourself. Not expect it to come from anywhere else, okay? You've got to know when you've done the right thing for the right reason. That's got to be rewarded enough. So that's it. That may be the last test that you guys actually have to take here at the Academy. I want to make sure you got that. As you receive your credentials today, you will also receive some awesome authority that will allow you to enforce the federal firearms and explosives regulations and conduct investigations and inspections of licensees, the results of which can determine whether or not they will maintain their livelihoods, or in some cases, be referred to federal prosecution. 2 totally different dichotomies, right? With that authority, though, comes lots of power. So I'm going to take it to really talk about harnessing that power so that you can control it versus it controlling you. So first I want you to always remember that our mission is a noble one. We protect the public against violent crime, and we regulate the firearms and explosives industries. And to do this, you must exhibit high moral character, integrity, competence, trustworthiness, empathy, and humility. Now, just about all of these characteristics speak for themselves, but it's the last two that will keep you grounded and keep you in check when it comes to the use of power and authority. So empathy allows you to think about other people and about their feelings. And it helps you to think about the golden rule. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Even when they are wrong, they are governed by that rule. Humility allows you to take a step back and to remember that none of us do things on our own that are of great value. So you need to always value the people around you, the people who work with you, and those people who are ultimately going to decide the fate of the outcome of your work. Now, if you do those two things, that will help you to avoid arrogance, all right? Which is usually the thing that leads to abuse of authority. Now, why do I say that to you? Because there will be accusations throughout your career. Oh, you know, that ATF inspector, Aaron, they did this and they did that, and it will eventually make its way either to me or somebody sitting on this side of the room. But if we know you and we understand the premise from which you operate, I mean, you know, that's like a grain of salt, okay? And it's an expectation. So it comes with a job. Remember this, remember that, and we remember it too, okay? Because each one of them has been where you're sitting. So we searched all over to find each one of you. You're the best, you're the brightest, and the most talented candidates that were out there. And today, you will become the newest in a long line of ATF industry investigators. And as industry investigators, I want to tell you a few things that you need to know about yourselves, okay? First, you are the first line of defense to prevent prohibited persons from obtaining firearms. You know that about yourself. Next, you are face to face with most licensees, and you represent this agency while you're out there. So remember that what you do reflects on everybody else, okay? Only takes one. How many times do we see the news, right? And we see the one police officer that did this, the one investigator that did that. Don't be the one. The work that you do ensures traceability of crime guns. And when a police officer or an innocent individual in a community is shot, that's one of the main tools that we use in order to initiate an investigation. And you are the people who will ensure that traceability is something that continues to be afforded to us by doing compliance inspections, by ensuring that there are documents and trails of documents that allow us when we need them to get to. You are vital to our mission of protecting the public. And you and your agent counterparts will work together to fight violent crime and to protect this nation like no other 1-2 punch in government, because we have a very unique mission, right? Talked a little bit about that this morning, right? So we regulate the industry and we enforce the law. And under one roof, when we bring that together, we really can make a difference when it comes to making sure that we can protect the public. You're that one part of that 1-2 punch against violent crime, which is running rampant in our communities today, right? And people are looking for answers. And they look for answers a lot of times. They're looking to us, right? Because we are guns, guns are us, right? I mean, that's what people think of when they think of ATF. What do? You're out there and you should have some of those answers. So we believe that that is now who you are. You're part of the answer. You also ensure that FELs are in compliance, right? Because while we talk a lot about firearms and our firearms mission, our explosives mission is one that is of equal importance. And when you start talking about commodities falling into the wrong hands and causing all kinds of damage, well, I need not go any further in the past than the Austin bombings, which I think we can all remember how what happened in that community with bomb making materials really did just kind of, it brought community to its knees. When we start talking again about who's out there, who's looking at the explosive industry, making sure that they are following the rules, that's gonna be you. And you will be able to help to prevent some of those folks out there who might otherwise, abuse that commodity. So we'll look forward to you stepping into that role as well. So to sum it all up, your unique knowledge of the laws, and regulations is crucial to the success of our mission. So as you do your work, make sure you do your work as if the mission depends on it, because it does. Now, as an agency, I want to reflect a little bit on our history, right? Because if you don't know where you've been, it's kind of hard to figure out where you're going, or maybe why you're there, okay? So historically, ATF has a rich history. It dates back for over 229 years. So those family members in the room, you talk about, the history of an organization. Wow, we didn't know ATF was 229 years old. It's not. But our forefathers, those people who were before us, go all the way back to 1791 to the Whiskey Rebellion. Remember when we had a little war debt that they needed to pay off, and they had to go and find some people, go out and collect some taxes on whiskey, and other distilled spirits. And folks in the colonies weren't exactly excited about that. So that's where when you talk about the Whiskey Rebellion. So we take our roots all the way back to those revenuers who collected those taxes. Whether it was there or Prohibition in the 1920s, ATF has been called upon whenever society has faced challenges and needed a champion. Whether it was the NFA of 1934, enacted after the likes of Al Capone wreaked havoc upon our cities, or the GCA of 1968, which was enacted after the assassinations of Martin Luther King Jr. and Bobby Kennedy. Or maybe it was the Explosives Control Act of 1970, which also brought about ATF's arson mission. People were burning down their businesses for profit, right? Or maybe what we do is we look to the PACT Act or the CCTA, right? When cigarette trafficking was an issue because contraband cigarette money was being used to fund terrorist organizations. They look to ATF. At each of these junctures in our society, they look to see who it was that could pick up those laws and that could do something with it. And this little agency, right, this same agency I told you guys earlier, will be 50 years old this year. You came out of the IRS in 1972. And from that point forward, they've continued to look to us as the agency with the answer for what ills, for society's ills. So that's something when you start talking about having a reputation as a fixer, as a problem solver. People don't always like the fact that we go about solving those problems in certain ways, right? But we do them according to the laws and the statutes that we stand by. So you're going to be a part of that that future and that history that's going to take this over and be part of it. So we're good at doing what we do primarily because we are an organization of leaders. As you depart the academy and head to your post of duty, I want you to think about what it means to be a leader in ATF. Now, not the leader of ATF, that's my, at least for now. Okay. But what does it mean to be a leader in ATF? And while you may be the newest person in the office, remember that you must first be the best leader of one that you can be. And that one is you. You need to make sure that you demonstrate daily the kind of character and competence that is representative of a leader. Demonstrate your leadership through self-discipline, teamwork, trust, focus, and execution. Be the one who influences, inspires, and motivates others to do their best. You don't have to have the title to be the leader. You just have to demonstrate your leadership every day through your actions. And you'll have an opportunity to do that from day one when you get back to your field of business. And I'll look forward to hearing that you're doing just that. Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't speak a little bit about the department that we work for. The Department of Justice is the only department in the federal government that has a virtue for a name, and that is not by accident. Justice is a concept about ethical treatment under the law, right? So in its simplest definitions, justice means treating all people fairly and equally in the eyes of the law. And the oath that I took 32 years ago, which you'll be taking soon, is a commitment to carry out justice equally and fairly for all. So remember that not only are you ATF IOIs, but you are also representatives of justice. And now, just like DOJ is the only department that's based on virtue, ATF is the only bureau whose primary mission impacts the Bill of Rights. So our mission to enforce the federal firearms laws and to regulate the firearms industry oftentimes finds us right in the crosshairs of the public, the industry, the Congress, the media, and maybe some of your friends and neighbors in conversations when you're talking about the Second Amendment, right? It finds us right there in that spot. And how controversial is that today when we start talking about the issues in society? It's not one of those issues that we find everybody coalescing around the fireplace and singing Kumbaya, right? We've got a division in this country when it comes to our mission. But what we don't have is a division within our ranks about how we enforce our mission. So I'm gonna give you this as an example, okay? So we start talking about what ATF does. We enforce the laws and the regulations. And if you think about the highway, right? Maybe you travel down the road to get here. Down the middle of the highway is a yellow line. And that yellow line, if you came here, I don't know, I use I-95, this is the one through DC, as an example, right? Or I-20 going east to west, right? That's a coast-to-coast freeway, and there's a yellow line that goes right down the middle of that road. And that's who we are. We are the yellow line in the middle of the road. And even though the road twists and it turns, the yellow line always divides one side from the other. We never go on one side or the other of the yellow line. The laws and regulations are what they are, and they do what they do. And we enforce them. And that's how we are able to maintain who we are as an agency. Because we don't lean left and we don't lean right. The laws and regulations stay right in the middle of the road. So if you ever get out there and you got folks that are gonna think about that road concept, okay? You stay right in the middle of the road. Right and wrong really do exist in the statutes and the regulations, okay? While we get to interpret them, there is due process at the end of the day for anyone who is not satisfied with our interpretation. So take that with you, because that's something that people get confused a lot of times with what they're doing out there sometimes, right? But just remember, you're right in the middle of the road. Okay. As if that weren't enough, okay, we talked a little bit about the laws that we enforce this morning, right? The GCA, right, which is 54 years old, and the NFA, which is 87 years old. Try interpreting those, right? We talked about the new opportunities that we've got with the notice of proposed rulemakings that we're going through right now. I mean, that is some technical stuff, right? But right now, we're overhauling the two primary statutes that govern us in ways that they've never been overhauled before. In fact, probably since they were actually put into law, we haven't seen this kind of an upgrade. In fact, I think in 1968, when the GCA was finally put into law, the definition of firearm was obsolete the next day because we had Model 1911. So for those gun enthusiasts out there, right, two-piece firearm, frame, or receiver, wasn't about a revolver, but that's what the law was written on. So I give you that again. When you talk about the challenges that you're going to face out there, know that as we overhaul those laws and bring them up to speed, we'll have an opportunity for you to really, to be able to educate folks that are out there. So let me, what does some of that mean to us, right? So some of the new challenges that you guys are going to face out there, right, as we talk about these laws being overhauled. We've seen what modern manufacturing can do, right? We know what modern processes can do, right? They create things like 3D printing, like ghost cutting, right? Arm braces, all these new modern terms that apply to laws that are as old as the GCA and the NFA. And you're going to be the ones that are out there making some determinations. Sometimes it's got to be at face value up front, right? But you'll always have the support of the kind of technical experts who will back you up, all right? So there's a lot going on today that's gonna make the job very challenging for you to be out there and doing it, but I believe that we're gonna be able to provide you with all the resources and the support that you're gonna need in order to do it and do it well. So as I close, ATF is a very unique organization that has survived difficult times. And we've endured many tragedies that have resulted in the tragedies at Waco, Texas, where I lost 4 good friends that day. The Oklahoma City bombing in the 1990s, and the fallout from Fast and Furious in the 2000s. One thing has always remained constant about ATF. And throughout all the years, that constant has been that we come back better and stronger. We rise to the occasion no matter what the setback. And you're going to find that there will be those times when you will have those, but remember that rich history upon which you now stand. And when things happen, there'll be a temporary setback, but it's just a setup for you to step forward and to do an even better job. So this day, I want you to smile, okay? As we indicated early, you know, it's okay. There are times when you take maybe your, in fact, I think I've seen all of your credit pictures, and somebody should have told somebody else, smile. And you're sitting there, had that stern look, but no, I want you to smile. I want you to really be happy and joyful in this day, because it is an accomplishment, but it's also just a beginning. So when you walk into headquarters, and one of these days you're all going to have that opportunity to come through those doors up there, there's a quote on the wall that I want you to take away from here. I want you to remember this. It says, loyalty, protection, perseverance, and partnership in defense of justice. That's who we are, and that's what we do. When you think about those words, if you think about the job that you will do every day, and you walk out your front door, those are the things that we are pursuing. We're not there to try and, put somebody out of business, right? People can do a good enough job of doing that on their own by failing to comply, right? You don't walk into somebody's business and say, I want you to fail complying today. You say, no, I want to make sure that you are prepared to be successful in your business. Now, whether or not they choose to follow those rules that are out there for them, that's on them. It's your job to ensure that they are doing the right thing. So with that said, I want to thank you families again for coming today. This has been, like I said, an opportunity that we haven't had in a very long time. I want to thank you, class, for your perseverance. I want to thank you for what you are bringing to our family, because I know that there is a lot of knowledge, wisdom, and experience sitting within your ranks that is really going to benefit us. I want you to be proud of what it is you're about to walk out of this door and do. And when you take this oath, I want you to walk away from here with a mindset that you serve a mission that serves a public, that regardless of whether or not they demonstrate their gratitude, you do it anyway. I'm going to leave you with that statement. Thank you very much, and I look forward to the rest of the ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you, Marvin Richardson. It's time before we move on, class. I'd also like to recognize two people who have been instrumental your whole time here. They've been instrumental the whole time we have training here at NCER. In the back, we have Program Manager Doug Dillo and Training Manager Lloyd Berg. Without them, this past year would not have been successful. Thank you very much. At this time, to give a presentation of IOIBT Class 2013, special awards. Class supervisors has come to the podium from Nicole Handera and Ron Young. Class supervisors take time from their regular duties to the academy to take on the important job of working with the class. They are mentors. They guide and inspire trainees to succeed. Class supervisors do everything possible to help the trainees complete this rigorous program. They work hard. We want to present them with a token of our appreciation. We all know that while they're here, just answering to the bosses back there. Mr. Young, thank you, sir. Thank you. Now I'd like to call Branch Chief Jason Cox has the honor of handing out the class awards for IOIBT 2103.
Hello and welcome. It's my pleasure to present the IOIBT Class Awards. Valerian Shoemaker Memorial Award for Leadership honors a new investigator who personifies the enthusiasm, integrity, and dedication to excellence that were the hallmarks of Mr. Shoemaker's career. Mr. Shoemaker served with distinction in the San Antonio office. He was passionate about his job and always eager to share his skills. He regularly volunteered as an instructor at the academy, where he inspired the trainees with his knowledge and enthusiasm. This award has special significance since the class members vote to select the winner. Valerian Shoemaker Memorial Award is presented to Kyle Lemons, Kansas City Field Division. Please join us. And now the class honor graduates, investigators who maintain a 97% or higher overall academic score on written examinations and successfully complete all practical exercises without remediation are designated distinguished graduates. As I call your name, please stand up and be recognized as a distinguished graduate. The IOIBT Class 2103 distinguished graduates are Christopher Commune, Dallas Field Division. The distinguished graduate who achieves the highest overall academic average is designated the class honor graduate. With a score of 99.5%, the class honor graduate for IOIBT 2103 is Jason Smith, Columbus Field Division.
I was asking about that other point. Change there. Not that I can.
The Kent M. Cousins Memorial Award for Excellence honors a new investigator who exemplifies the professionalism, kindness, and spirit of cooperation that Mr. Cousins was known for. The Academy staff selects the winner of this award. As an IOI, Mr. Cousins was greatly admired for his dedication. At the pinnacle of his distinguished career, he was the Director of Industry Operations for the New Orleans Field Division. He worked tirelessly in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina to help lead the search in Baton Rouge for missing ATF employees and their families. He secured shelter, food, water, and clothing for affected ATF employees. During the recovery, he put in long hours day after day, including a 75-mile commute, while at the same time dealing with damage to his own home and fighting a personal battle with a terminal illness. Sadly, Kent passed away in 2006. We honor his memory and the deep devotion to the ATF family with this award. The Kent M. Cousins Memorial Award is presented to Aaron Yang. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. This time we present the credentials. Andrew Lost. Seth Bowman. Philip Brock. Juan Bracton. Christopher Commute.
It's a family affair.
Juan Cardenas. John Castle. Samuel Crawford. Patrick Curry. Adam Ernest. Kyle Emmons. Kyle Fleming. Jillian Ginadrea Musty. Du Kim. Matthew Kukolski. Richard Lee. Alexandra Lynn. Clayton Messick. Avaleo Orias. Yuri Reynoso. Jason Smith. Marianella Thompson. Benjamin Trickett. Kurt Tyner. Levy Villavicencio.
Well, this way a little bit.
It really is a family thing.
Matthew Baldwin. Aaron Yankee.
Class, near the close of the program, I ask that the graduates for your affirmation of your oath. Sir.
All right. So as we prepare to take your oath of office, I will ask you to raise your right hand. I'll say, I state your name, and then we will go in order or in order? In order. All right, let me make sure. So, class, repeat after me. I,
Andrew Boss. Seth Bowman.
Philip Rock.
Juan Bracken.
Chris Commune.
Juan Cardenas.
John Castle.
Samuel Crawford.
Patrick Curry.
Adam Ernest.
Kyle Lemons.
Kyle Fleming.
Jillian, Andrea Mustin.
Doe Kim.
Matt Colsey.
Richard Lee.
Alexandra Lynn.
Clayton Messick.
Apoleo Orius.
Yuri Reynoso.
Jason Smith.
Marianella Thompson.
Benjamin Trickett. Kirk Tyner.
Larry Villavicencio.
Matt Bulmer.
Aaron Yankee.
do solemnly swear that I will support and defend
Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office on which I am about to enter,
of the office on which I'm about to enter.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, 2103.
Thank you, Brad. It's my pleasure to present you to our newest highly trained ATF industry operations. That's congratulations once again. Class, Ioibt, I bid you today. But before I do, I have one last question. What is General Order number 11?
Go home safely.
And that is my last word to you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending. This closes the graduation ceremony. Thank you for being here to honor our graduates.